All right, everybody, if you could just make sure you're muted, that would be fantastic. Not that I don't want to hear all your wonderful voices, but I just want to make sure everybody has clear audio for me to be able to hear. So hi, I'm Robin Hoffman. I am a writer, a director, a producer, a mom, a wife, daughter, no, tons of things. But I've had a lot of people ask me questions about how to navigate through IMDb. So I thought this would be a great idea for a workshop because it would be easier to show everybody at once and have it recorded so that anyone who couldn't make it this evening could watch it. Or even if you're watching it with me tonight, you can go back to it and watch it again while you are submitting your own information on IMDb. This is everything I say tonight is all me. I don't work for IMDb and I don't work for OIF. I just trying to help out where I can. I know a lot of little things, a little bit about a lot, but not a lot about everything. So I will do the best I can to answer your questions. I don't know everything. I'm not afraid to admit that, but I can help you navigate to find out those answers if I don't know the answer myself. I just played around with it a lot and figured out how to navigate through it. So I'm happy to share with you my little bit of knowledge. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Desktop. Let's hope that works. We doing okay there? Can everybody see? Danielle?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so anytime that you want to, okay, what's going on here? Submit content into IMDb, I would make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row first. You don't want to just get on there and just start, dumping information because one, it may not be accurate, and two, you might not remember everything. So it's best. So I am just a fanatic about my spreadsheets. It's a joke that I have spreadsheets about my spreadsheets in regards to my spreadsheets. So the first thing I do when I'm creating a film is I create a spreadsheet for the cast and crew. So you'll see here, I have a new movie coming up that we're filming at the end of June. So I have my cast and I have my crew. And one of the first things I ask everybody is, I need your phone number, I need your email address, and I need your IMDb, if you have one. So if they don't have one, I know that right away, and I'm not searching for the correct IMDb. I'll have the information there that I can refer back to if I can't find them while I'm submitting. And you'll see why it's helpful to have that link as we go through. So part of the unfortunate news is, in order to submit the type of information that we will be submitting this evening, you do have to have IMDb Pro. And that does cost some money. But the way I look at it is, if I'm going to make films, there's a couple of things that I can do, especially in the realm that I'm in, which is working with a lot of people who donate their time and expertise. The least I can do is, number one, feed them on set, and number two is give them credit on IMDb. So to me, that's part of the expense that I put into my budget for my films. So that's the start. There are a few things that you can do without IMDb Pro, but you're not going to be able to do the majority of what we're doing this evening without it. So I'm in my account. I bookmark the link to add a new title to IMDb. So I can send you that in the chat prior to the session ending. If you want to join along, I don't know if I can send it right now. Let me see if I can. I'd have to stop sharing. Anyway, I'll make sure you guys have that link. So adding a new title to IMDb, it looks just like this. I'm going to put my title. My title is Speak. Now, when you're working with IMDb, just know it is a very old and antiquated system. So things aren't going to work right away or very easily. They always have questions, follow-up questions to the short questions that they ask you here. So it's probably, what happens is it doesn't really work the first time because you have to keep submitting and answering questions. So you'll see, so don't be discouraged. It happens to all of us. You'll see lots of pretty colors, and I'll tell you what all of those mean. So this is a film, and it is in production because we are in pre-production, and I am the writer. So this nice handy dandy button, you're going to see it a lot. Check these updates. And again, like I said, it will not go through. It always asks follow-up questions. So this is a short film. And we're going to check these updates again. So all of that yellow means that we're not ready yet. We have more questions because we're IMDb. So we go through and we answer all the questions. So we've answered that. So is this speak? Da, da, da. They have other titles with speak, but this is not the same. So we're going to check. This is not an existing title. Recheck updates. And it's still yellow, so we have more questions. All right. So we go down and you have to answer. Some of these questions are mandatory and some are not. So we are in pre-production. We're in the US. Let's say the first, you have a rough date. This is just asking you when you plan on making your film available. So we're going to say August of 2021, and we're going to say online or internet. You always have to give that one an attribute. So if you plan on distributing it somewhere else, you can write that in. But for right now, for me, it'll just be put out on the internet. So it's US, language is English. I'm just going to go through these real quick, but you'll be able to read those. It's self-explanatory. My film is going to be in color. It is a drama. I'm the director. So you have to give this, you have to answer at least one of these questions. If you don't have any distributors, or if you don't have a website or a link, then you have to answer at least a couple questions, one of the questions. But if you do have a website for your film, even if it's just a Facebook, I would suggest that you put that in there. So we're going to do this. If you're putting an amount of what your film costs, you don't put any dollar signs or any decimal points. It's just numbers for that category. We will not be adding an item to that. My production company is Hoffman's Heart. All right, so here when we get into the little bit of the meat of it, they're asking about cast. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cast members. So I'm going to shoot for 15, and I can always just reduce that later. There's one writer, one producer, one composer, one cinematographer, and one editor. You can see right here in this section, there's a handful of questions, but that's not everybody who's on the film. So you're like, why can't I fill this in now? I don't know, we're IMDb and we make you wait till later. So you just fill out all the categories you can that are available here. And to be honest with you, I don't concentrate on any other of this part right here, because I always know I can go back and fill it in later. I just want to get the film on IMDb. So we're going to check for updates. And of course, it's a yellow color, so we're not ready to go yet. We have questions, more questions for me. Let's see. This is not an existing title. I don't know what. Let's see. Okay, so it just wants to make sure I am who I am. So I make sure that this is me. I click that. Everything else is green. So this is the color you're looking for. This green is like, yay, we're finally getting somewhere. The Pepto-Bismol color, not good. It gives me a tummy ache. So we're going to click Hoffman's Heart. And now we get to fill in our cast. So we have an actress. I won't do all these right now, but just to show you how it works. So now Trinity popped up right away. So I can click on her. This is where it gets complicated if you don't know which IMDb it is. So that's why you want to have those links handy. So I'm not going to fill all this in right now. Actually, I'll change this to add 1 credit just so for our purposes. The writer, that's me. Click on me. Producer, me. Composer. Cinematographer. Actually, that's going to be different. So we're going to not do that right now. Okay, so now let's check it and see what color we come up with. All right, yay, lots of green. Green is awesome. We love green. That means it's accepting all of those categories that I filled out. Producers.
Hey, Robin, real quick. With you at the host position, do me a favor and check and see if there's anyone waiting to be admitted real quick.
Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see. Yes, I'm glad you asked to check. Okay, yep, we had a couple more people joining. I'm going to wait till those actually go through. It looks like it's trying to think about it. So please bear with me. Okay, we are back. So let me share my screen again. All right, so since we have this tummy ache Pepto-Bismol color, what I forgot to do is put in the occupation, even though it's under producer. So you have to actually click on which type of producer. And then we can check our updates again. Oh, hallelujah. Look at that, guys. We have green all the way through. So that's a really good sign. So that means what I can do now is I can actually submit all of these updates. I'm probably going to save it for later so I can add some more, but to add your title into IMDb, that is all it takes. That's why I said it's really important to have all of your ducks in a row so that you can easily access any of the information while you're submitting. So once a film is submitted, let's visit IMDb. I'll go to one of my films. You can easily make changes on your profile. You can scroll down and you can add, you can choose any of your films. Let me go down, I'll choose Stand Out. And you can add somebody if you're said, oh, you know, we had another makeup artist, then you can go in and you have all your categories and all you do is select how many people you want it to submit. And you go through those and then you hit continue or check updates. It'll happen and I'll ask you tons of questions just like before. So there's that. Sometimes what happens on IMDb, because there are different people that are submitting information on your behalf, they might create a different account for you. There are some people, you know, we as producers, we get very busy and some people don't take the time to do like these spreadsheets like I do. So somebody might just add you in without adding it to your actual IMDb. So there's a way to fix that. You can merge your IMDb together. So I have a friend that this is happening with right now. So I'm going to go ahead and type in her name. So what you do is you would type in your name if this is happening to you. And this is Crystal's IMDb. So you saw when I typed in her name, there were several, excuse me, there were several Crystal Alexandrias. Let's see. So we have the one I just clicked on, and then let's see what this is. I think this, okay, so this is just an empty account. So what we want to do is we go down to edit page. And right here it says name correction or merge. So we're going to want to merge. So we want to add a correction. Scroll down to continue. And then let's see, this is what I have to do too sometimes. You just click on it till you figure it out. Okay, so the explanation is this is not an active account. All IMDb credits should be on Crystal Alexandria 1. Okay, let's see. That's the one I did earlier. Check these updates. What is it asking? This correction has been rejected. All right, I see you, IMDb. Oh, that's because I didn't put her right name. Oops. So hopefully it accepts yours. Let's see if that works. Hey, we're getting somewhere. Okay, so now it's just asking to make sure that this is the right Crystal Alexandria. And then warning understood anyway, recheck these updates. Great, we get that beautiful green color. That means we're ready to submit. So now IMDb will review my request and it will merge the two accounts if it looks like something had gone awry, which it had. Okay, what else? Do we have any questions so far since I'm going through it pretty quickly? I'm gonna, see. Okay. Somebody asked. Let me go back. All right. So I can make that bigger, but I don't know if the words will actually be bigger for you. Trying to think of what else people run into. Let's see.
Robin, I know I've worked with a lot of people, and this happened to me kind of early on when I was first getting like a few different credits on IMDb.
Mhm.
And this would be more in regular than necessarily in pro, I think. But correcting information on like a
Yes.
title page that's not yours.
Yes, and that is the same. You do it the same way. Let me go back. So this is my page. So if somebody had put something in for me on a film that wasn't accurate, you go to that actual film page, and then you scroll down to edit page. And then you can make the changes. So if I was a part of the cast or they put me down as a casting director and I should have been something else, you can actually go in and correct or delete that or add a new one, whatever it is that you want to correct.
So for example, if someone was credited for like the wrong crew position,
Correct.
they can go into that film's title page,
Mhm.
scroll down to the edit page, and they should be able to delete an incorrect credit and then add a correct credit.
That's correct. You can see how the drop down, you have either correct or delete, or you can add yourself to that particular whatever it is that you needed to correct. Good question. Good question. Are there any other questions? Are you able to see them, Danielle?
Yeah, I can see the chats. I'm not seeing any specific questions so far. I had a question. It might be a stupid question, but I actually had this happen to me and I never figured out how to fix it. So if you're creating a new project, so you're creating a new title page, you have to pick whether it's, a film, and then it makes you decide, tell it if it's a short or a feature, or it could be an episodic. I had a title page that was created and I'm assuming it's my fault. I did something wrong and it got created as a short, but I intended for it to be created as an episodic.
Okay.
And I have not been able to find anywhere in IMDb to actually go and correct that.
Yeah, that's a really good question. We can take a look at that together afterwards if you want, or I can pull it up now if you can tell me the name of it and we can take a peek.
No, it's yeah, probably not something that I'd want to do on the call. I just wasn't sure if it was something, because that's like and I Googled it to try to find out. And I ended up sending one of the like help messages to IMDb and they never responded.
Oh no, that would have been my suggestion too. Exactly. But yeah, we can take a look at it together and we can see if we can navigate through that.
Spence has a question.
Sure.
He says, if a cast member doesn't have a page and adding them to the film will create one, can they then go in later and add photos, trivia, etc.?
That's an excellent question. Absolutely, they can if they have an IMDb Pro. If they don't, they can change certain information, I think like their bio, some simple things like that. But in order to add pictures or videos or anything like that, you have to have the IMDb Pro. But once their page is created by you or by IMDb, once you submit, then they can absolutely go in and make those additions or changes. Good question.
Very good. And I think Spence and everyone, I think one of the very first chats in the chat box, if you scroll back to the very top of it, we posted the link for the free trial to IMDb Pro. So if you click that link and you want to get Pro, that'll kind of take you through it. It's a pretty easy process.
That's awesome. Very good. Thank you. Let's see. Are the barriers to-
And then Kurt has a question. Are there barriers to building a profile? I'm a new executive producer and I don't have history.
There shouldn't be any barriers. I'm not sure what exactly you're referring to, but
Kurt, do you want to unmute yourself and maybe clarify your question a little?
Hi, yeah, this is Kurt. I'm a new executive producer as I'm helping distribute some documentaries onto online video platforms. And so we got listed as executive producers. So by adding that, it might be revising an existing title and or a title that's not even listed yet, because some are movies and some are actual episodic reality shows.
So are you saying that like you didn't have an executive producer credit prior to this and you do now?
Exactly.
okay, great. Yeah, that would be added in just like anything else. And it will, once you're submitted, and if you have not had a prior credit like that, it will show us that yellow and we'll ask, are you sure? Is this the first credit for this person in this, position? And then you'll just add that, or somebody else can for you. But I don't see any barriers happening for you with that. It should be fine, especially if you do have the IMDb Pro. Sorry, I keep saying that. I don't work for IMDb. I'm not pressuring anybody to do it. It's just when you have that access, it makes it easier. And hopefully somebody on your project has the IMDb Pro. If you don't have it yet and somebody else does, then you can work together to submit that information for your film. But as you're adding, new content and new information, it will, obviously fill your profile and make things more accessible for you as you go through it. So I hope that's helpful.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Robin, I had another question.
Yeah.
Can you show everybody like the, I know for talent in particular, once they get like a demo reel put together and they want to add that to their IMDb page.
Sure.
And I've helped some other people do that. It seems to be that's another area that can be confusing for folks.
Sure. Give me just a second to pull. Everything just disappeared on me. I'm not really sure why. To pull that back up, and then I will happily share my screen again. Let's see. Okay. Alrighty. So once you can do it from your profile in IMDb Pro, or like I said before, when you're in your IMDb page, you just scroll down and it always offers for you to edit page. So this one, that is not what you want. So let me show you what not to do. All right, so up here, there should be an edit. More at IMDb Pro. Here we go. It's thinking about it. It's trying. All right, so in this area here, you can change any of your content that's on your page. So you can do your biography, you can add pictures, and you can add videos. So this is my demo reel that I added. So all you would do is click add video, select, fill out all the information, and select the video that you want to upload. And then you scroll down and hit upload. That's it.
Now, what if you have a video that like an old demo reel and maybe you decide you don't want it on there? Is there a way to remove it?
Absolutely. Good question. So in that same section, right here on the right, you'll see edit videos. And then you can choose what you want to do with that video, and delete is one of those choices. I just don't want to do that because look at us, Danielle, we're right on there.
What are the odds of that?
What are the odds? Pretty high because we work together a lot. But yes, so it's it's just a matter of taking the time to just sit and sort of play around with it. That's really how I learned. I just kind of navigated through it over and over again until it became a little bit easier.
Yeah, I just think, because it's, it's not a system that a lot of people are comfortable or used to working in. I think that, yes, poking around, but I think a lot of people probably like me, how I was in the past, I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up.
Yeah, and it gets very frustrating when you're constantly seeing the yellow or that Pepto-Bismol color that drives me crazy. It gets really frustrating. But if you just look through the questions and answer each one, I promise in no time you'll be clicking through it pretty easily.
Now, I don't think you'd covered it yet, but when you're especially adding a new title, but it's either in the initial adding a new title or once it's created, a lot of times you go back in and have additional things that you need to modify.
Yeah.
The whole section on attributes.
Yes,
Yeah, some require and some don't.
that is correct.
And so I don't know if you have any advice or.
My only wisdom on that is like less is more when it comes to IMDb. So if it does not require the attribute, I don't fill it out. If it requires one, then usually there's either a drop down or it'll ask you a very specific question. So it'll be easy, for you to know what the answer should be in regards to your film. But if it doesn't require it, I just wouldn't do it. And then you can always go in and add information as you either get savvier or things come up with your film, like changing it from pre-production to post-production, those kinds of things. But you can do that straight from your IMDb page or from your IMDb Pro.
What about the process of adding a festival nomination or a festival win?
So that was a whole nother workshop, a whole other workshop. So we do have that one recorded. If people are interested, I think after the awards ceremony, we can certainly make sure that people are provided with that link, because that literally explaining that to everyone, I think took longer than me explaining how to do an initial title. So that also takes a specific link, and then I can show from there. I mean, I can show you really quick, but like I said,
I know the process is rather different.
It is. It's very different. I'll share my screen again. Let me find. So literally all I do is Google adding awards to IMDb, because I don't have that.
Oh, you're making me feel normal. I do the same thing. Well, because you go to the IMDb, this is why I brought it up, is that you go to the IMDb page and that's not where I go to add a new title or to add a festival nomination. I actually have to do this, what you're doing.
Yeah, so I posted the link in the chat to adding a new title that I went over first. So I will also add this link to the chat once I'm done, once I minimize my screen. But you go to the events page. So this should be any festival that will allow you to put awards on. So that's important when you're submitting to festivals, is to make sure that these are festivals that are IMDb worthy, or whatever, however you want to say it. So they are listed here, and of course OIF is listed. So excuse me while I scroll really fast, watch your eyes, all the way down to the O's. Got to make sound effects or it doesn't work. Okay, Orlando. Anybody see it? All right, Orlando Independent Filmmakers. So let's say you just won an award at one of the most recent challenges. You're going to find that the festival that you got the award from, and you can see the ones that have already been listed, and then you scroll down like every other page you want to edit, and you hit edit page. Then you have wins and nominations that are here, and you click the drop down onto how many. So hopefully you have 35 wins. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. So let's say we want to add one win, and you hit continue. And then you just fill out all the information just like we did before. There's already a drop down for the previous challenges because they were entered. If the challenge that you were a participant in is not there, you can type it in yourself. It will ask you later, it'll turn Pepto-Bismol and I'll ask you, are you sure, this has not been a category before, and you can add it and just say, yes, you're sure. I don't have an award to say it, but you can, or to implement right now, but you can see these are awards that have been previously for my awards, and then you choose your category. If you don't see your category in the drop down, just fill it in. This is where you put whether you were either nominated or a winner. I have not seen second or third place yet, but so you'll have one title, and then the recipients would be however many recipients of the award, but most likely for one category, it would be one recipient. A number of companies, if you have a production company. This right here is really important. In the comment section, this will make your life a lot easier. What I do is I go to the OIF website or whatever festival you're submitting to, but for our purposes, it'll be OIF. You copy the website link and you paste it here. So it's proof that you won the award. So once they're listed on their website, you can use that and copy it and paste it here so that if somebody from IMDb says, yeah, I don't know about this award, I need to check on that. They go to that link, they see it's legitimate, and you will get, it will show much quicker. And then you hit check these updates and you keep doing it until it's green like the other times.
I mean, I think you run the likelihood of the change just being rejected in the end if you don't have
If you
a
don't
way to
have
check
a link.
proof, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Any other questions? Anything else I can help with?
Everyone's a pro now.
Everyone's a pro now.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just takes some, why can I not message everyone?
Are you serious?
There we go, I got it. I just want to make sure I can send the previous link, this one, to everybody in case they want to add all the awards everyone's going to win. Okay, what if someone created an ID account for you? Please tell them. Yes, if somebody added, the question is if somebody creates an IMDb for you, can you still add roles, or do you have to create for them? Yeah, in order to add more content that's more than the basics, so adding, yes, another character, those kinds of things, you might be able to get away with it without the IMDb Pro. But again, like they said, click that link and do the trial membership. When you have some things to add, try that out, and you can do it through that. But in order to add a lot of things to your profile, like I said earlier, pictures, videos, other things like that, you will need the IMDb Pro. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful to everyone. I'm certainly open to questions when you're navigating it through it yourself. If anybody wants to reach out to me, if it's a basic question, I'm sure I'll be able to answer it. If it's a big question, then you'll probably have to go through IMDb. But somebody is just joining us now.
And this session again is being recorded, so it'll get posted on the Organization of Independent Filmmakers Facebook page and on the website as well. So if you get to that point down the line and you are actually creating a title and you want a refresher, you can certainly pull it up and have that recording.
Well, thank you guys so much. I hope, like I said, I hope this is helpful. And if you ever need to refer back to it, certainly while you are submitting your first title, you can have it playing so you can refer back to it. But just keep playing with it, and I promise you will become a pro, an IMDb pro. Huh.
All right. Well, Robin, this has been very, very helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You're very welcome.
And everyone, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. If you have, any questions, certainly reach out to Robin. And I appreciate all of your time. You have a great night.
All right, you too, Danielle. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.